Welcome to Whiteboard Friday with DGS. Today we're going to be talking about search engine optimization, and we're going to cover two important topics today. We're going to talk about how to sell it, and then we're going to talk about reporting and resources in order to achieve optimal results. So, how to sell it? To begin with, you have to start with the research. And up until a short while ago, we used to use the Google Keyword Planner as the ultimate research tool, and it's now become a little defunct. It is not as valuable a resource as it used to be. So the best research tool that I've found is a resource called kwfinder.com. And this is one of the only resources that I found that will actually allow us to do a keyword research in a specific geography. All the other ones basically just did national or global numbers. So KW Finder is going to be the best resource that we have at our disposal right now for taking a look at how much volume there is for any specific keyword. So if you go to kwfinder.com, what you're going to see is there's a box in the middle of the screen that basically says keyword, location, language. And at this point you have two options to do the research. You're either going to do a keyword in a specific location, or you're going to do a different keyword search plus a location. So what does that really mean? So for example, we might do a search for pizza in Vancouver. So what we basically said is, here's my keyword and I'm interested in the location being Vancouver. When I click search or get results, it's going to throw back the number of searches for pizza within the geography of Vancouver. Now that's okay. It's really not the best way to go about researching search engine optimization, because typically people are going to try to do a search for a keyword plus a location. So in this example, somebody would do the same search. They would do pizza and Vancouver in here. Now what that means for us is we're able to now change the location, because it really doesn't matter if somebody's in Chilliwack or Hope or Whistler or Coquitlam or Delta. If they're looking for a pizza in Vancouver, then they're strategically looking to order something there. So typically we're going to set our location to British Columbia and click search and get a different set of results, typically higher volume than if we just did pizza and then geo-targeted to Vancouver. So the only thing that you need to understand here in the research part is you need to make sure that you're doing the right kind of research in the right kind of location. I would recommend this one. Make sure you're doing keyword plus location in a broader location. Then we're going to get into the ranking. So once we've decided, hey Mr. Customer, did you know that there are 2,000 searches per month for people looking for pizza in Vancouver, then we need to be able to go and talk to them about the ranking. So where are they in that list of results? When we used the keyword planner, we would basically have to open up a new window, maybe go incognito and do a search for Pizza Vancouver, and then try to see if we could see our client anywhere on the first couple of pages. The nice thing about KW Finder is it really eliminates this step. So what happens when you click search? Over here you're going to see on the left side of the screen a bunch of keywords related to the search topic that you've put into the keyword list. And on the right side of the screen, you're going to see the organic rankings 1 through 10 for the keyword that you've just done research on. Now what becomes really powerful is if I click on any of those keywords that are related or relevant to the keyword search that I've done, this list of top 10 changes to show me the actual results in Google. So I don't have to go over to Google now to do the keyword research or find out where they're ranking. I can just click down this list really fast, see if they're in the top 10. If they're not, it's a perfect opportunity to go and pitch search engine optimization. Finally, when we're selling it, so what we've basically done now is we said, hey Mr. Customer, there's 2,000 searches, you're nowhere to be found. And typically that might be enough for you to go and sell search engine optimization to the customer. If they're highly analytical or maybe they're on the fence a little bit, you can close out this conversation by talking about the SERP CTR. This stands for the Search Engine Results Page Click-Through Rate. So basically what we're saying is, Mr. Customer, you're nowhere to be found. The number 10 result on Google on the first page gets about 2.2% of the clicks for the volume of that search. Our goal is to get you above the fold and typically into position number 1, where you're now going to see 36.4% of that traffic that gets searched. And having a conversation with the customer about return on investment or the average value of a customer or the lifetime value of a customer allows them to then see how much a third of that traffic can impact the results of their business. Okay, so this is how you sell it. Once you've sold it, the only obligation that you have at that point will be to go in and do the monthly reporting, and there's a few resources that we need to accomplish optimal results. So let's talk a little bit about this. The first one is Google Analytics. So, that's terrible handwriting. So the first thing to kind of keep in mind is, and you should feel comfortable explaining this to a customer, is depending on who you are, depending on where you're at, depending on the searches that you've done in the past, depending on the sites that you've visited in the past, anybody could do a search for Pizza Vancouver and get very different SERP results based on their history. So from that perspective, some of our rank reports become what we call a vanity metric. It's good, but it's simply not the best way to measure the results of a search engine optimization campaign. The better result that we're trying to track in here is traffic, not rank. Because if you're ranking high, you should be getting more traffic. And for that report, we have to go to Google Analytics to understand how much more organic traffic we're getting from our SEO efforts. So in order to really report effectively on search engine optimization, we need Google Analytics access so that we can report on the overall traffic lift for a customer. That being said, if we don't have analytics, or if the customer is completely happy with seeing a rank report, that's good enough. But for some of our internal metrics, we're also taking a look at the traffic and organic results there. The second thing that we need access to, and you'll see this when you're starting a project and it's coming through in Maven Link. So the other thing that we need is what we call Google Search Console. It used to be called Google Webmaster Tools. Now, the reason we need this is, there's a couple of reasons why we need this. Number one is when we go into Google Analytics and we're looking at acquisition, within acquisition we can take a look at organic, and within organic we get a list of all the keywords that have driven traffic to the customer's website. Now, typically at the top of that list, 97+% of the keywords that drive traffic to a customer's website are under a category called not provided. So basically Google in 2010 hid the data that allows businesses to see what somebody searched in order to go visit their website. There's really nothing a business owner could do to sort of unlock some of that not provided data until they get into the Google Search Console. And what this Google Search Console will allow us to do is track keywords, ranks, and click-through rate for any given keyword much more transparently than Google Analytics allows us to do. The Google Search Console, like it indicated before as a webmaster tool, also gives us access to be able to fix sitemaps issues, be able to take a look at some of the 404 error pages, just some very technical stuff. We're able to see the site the way Google crawls it, and that can give us some yellow or red flags as to issues that might be going on from a development or a technical issue that we're not able to see any other way. So, so when we're starting a search engine optimization campaign, we need access to Google Analytics and we need access to the Google Search Console. The last thing that we need is access to this. Google Places. So when we're taking a look at something like Pizza Vancouver, we see Google, there's going to be a couple ads in there, there's going to be a map section, and then you get into all these organic results. Google Places directly contributes to the map section. So in order for us to go in there and optimize the map setting and get the customer into this 1, 3, 5, however many Google allows us to get into the map results, we have to go in and be able to claim the Google Places listing. If it's been claimed, we need to go in there and be able to optimize it and make sure that when we're doing this, it's all about NAP, which stands for name, address, and phone number. So across the web, our team is going to make sure that the name, address, and phone number for this business matches other directories across the web. We would also encourage the customer to get reviews on here, but simply claiming this Google Places listing allows us to go in here and optimize the map listing on behalf of our customers. Finally, there's two different ways to go about getting the access that we need. One, login to rule them all. So a customer can give us access to their Google account. We can, with that Google account, get access to all of these. If they haven't created them, we can go in there and create it for them, no problem. Maybe your customer doesn't want to give us that big of a login because it will also give us access to perhaps some of their Google Sheets or Google Documents or Gmail accounts. So they're going to say, no, there's a lot of stuff in there that I don't want to see for whatever reason. So, so they're going to say, what else can we do? So the one login to rule them all is obviously what we would like to do because it becomes really easy to manage. But there is an or. They can add us individually to each of these Google products. And we can send you or your customer information on the step-by-step process that they need to do to log into each of these Google products and add us as administrators or users so that we're able to accomplish what we need to from a search engine optimized perspective. So to conclude, number one is being able to sell it. In order to sell it, you've got to research, you've got to figure out where they're at, and then you've got to show them the value add of why that's important. The best tool to accomplish this right now is a tool called kwfinder.com. In there, it's going to help you figure out what the search volume is and where they're ranking. Once you've got it actually started, you're going to get monthly reports that show improvement in rank. That's a good enough report. The better report will be improvement in traffic. And in order to accomplish all that we need to help clients succeed, we need access to the Google Search Console and Google Places. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd be happy to help. Thanks.